They were once icons of glamour, glitz and glamour on the red carpet, living in luxurious mansions and admired by the world. But time doesn't stand still for anyone. Some stars, once at the peak of their fame, then plummeted into difficult times, homelessness, depleted finances, and the spotlight fading. In this video, we'll explore true, surprising, and emotional stories about people who once had it all, but then lost almost everything. What led them to that turning point? And did any of them rediscover themselves and rise again after such major setbacks? Rocky Lockridge was not just a boxer, but a former lightweight champion with an impressive career who once dominated the ring and was highly regarded for his talent. However, after retiring in 1992, his life entered a completely different phase, full of difficulties and turmoil. The challenges he faced in real life were far harsher than the blows he received in the ring. After leaving his fighting career, Lockridge gradually fell into drug addiction, leading to a breakdown in his personal life. He lost his family, his possessions, and the financial stability he once had. In 1997, he was convicted and served a prison sentence for criminal offenses. Upon returning to life outside of prison, he had no fixed residence and lived in very difficult circumstances, even experiencing a period of homelessness in New Jersey. Furthermore, the accumulated injuries from his competitive career, combined with declining health due to various factors, made his life even more difficult. A subsequent stroke severely affected his mobility, leaving lasting consequences and becoming a painful milestone in his life. Despite a brilliant career and the honor of being a champion, the years that followed were a series of setbacks, as personal and health problems piled up over time. Lockridge's image later became widely known through a video in the intervention program, where he showed intense emotion as he reflected on his life. That moment garnered significant attention, but also clearly reflected a man who had experienced so much loss. Rocky Lockridge's story serves as a profound reminder that even the strongest in the ring can face challenges beyond their physical capabilities. It shows that life can change very quickly, and winning in sports doesn't always guarantee security in life afterward. Marvin Gaye was not just a singer, but an icon of soul music, a highly influential artist with timeless classics like What's Going On and Sexual Healing. His powerful voice could touch the deepest emotions of listeners, contributing to shaping the distinctive sound of Motown and transcending its boundaries. However, behind the image of a musical legend was a man facing many inner conflicts, personal pressures, and a turbulent life. Despite his brilliant career success, Marvin Gaye's personal life was far from peaceful. He struggled with substance abuse and persistent financial difficulties that gradually depleted much of his assets. Personal troubles and legal issues led him to leave the United States and live for a time in Europe in an attempt to find balance and escape the heavy mental pressure. However, the most profound impact on his life came from his complicated family relationships, especially with his father, a strict pastor. The long-standing conflicts between them created significant tension throughout Marvin's life, becoming one of the most burdensome psychological pressures he faced. This relationship became increasingly strained over time, leading to an unimaginable tragedy. On April 1, 1984, just one day before his 45th birthday, Marvin Gaye died in an incident at his own home following a family argument. His sudden death shocked the world and became one of the most shocking losses in music history. Despite his short and eventful life, Marvin Gaye's musical legacy lives on. His songs are not only an artistic masterpiece, but also a lasting source of inspiration for generations of artists and music lovers worldwide. Amanda Peterson was once a bright star on screen, especially remembered for her role in Can't Buy Me Love, 1987, where she played Cindy Mancini alongside Patrick Dempsey. With her innocent, natural beauty and the image of the ideal American girl, she quickly became one of the most prominent teen idols of the 1980s, receiving widespread public adoration. However, behind the glamour of Hollywood lay a personal journey filled with challenges and silent pressure. As public attention gradually faded, Amanda Peterson distanced herself from the entertainment industry and chose a more private life, separate from Hollywood. Even so, personal difficulties, including mental health issues and periods of substance abuse, made her life off-screen anything but easy. For years, she tried to find stability and peace, but this process was fraught with obstacles and didn't really last. On July 3, 2015, just days before her 44th birthday, Amanda Peterson died in an incident involving an unintentional drug overdose. Her passing shocked many fans, as a face once associated with their youthful memories suddenly ended their life's journey. Amanda Peterson left behind the image of a talented actress and a beloved teen icon. Her story became a reminder of the fragility of fame and the pressures behind the spotlight, where not everyone can easily maintain balance as the glamour fades. Gary Coleman, born on February 8, 1968, in Zion, Illinois, became a familiar face to television viewers thanks to his iconic role as Arnold Jackson in the television series Different Strokes, which aired from 1978 to 1986. His famous line, "What you talking about, Willis?" became a cultural icon, earning him widespread popularity around the world. However, despite his early success, Gary Coleman's life was not as easy as his glamorous on-screen persona suggested. After achieving fame, he faced numerous legal disputes related to finances and asset control, including prolonged conflicts with his family and management. These issues led to financial difficulties and a loss of the financial stability he had enjoyed during his peak. When the series ended, Gary also struggled to find new roles, causing his career to stagnate. In the years that followed, he tried his hand at various jobs to make ends meet, from working as a security guard to participating in various media and social activities. However, none of these options provided lasting stability, and his life continued to experience many ups and downs. On May 28, 2010, Gary Coleman passed away at the age of 42 due to a brain hemorrhage. His sudden death shocked fans and the media, bringing to an end the life of one of the most prominent child stars on American television. Despite his turbulent personal life, Gary Coleman's legacy continues to be remembered. His image and role in Different Strokes remain an important part of television history, etched in the memories of generations of viewers. Dana Plato was once a beloved figure among American audiences. At just 14 years old, she shot to stardom playing Kimberly Drummond in the popular sitcom Different Strokes. With her bright smile, signature blonde hair, and approachable demeanor, Dana was expected to become one of Hollywood's most promising talents in the years to come. However, behind the glamour of the screen lay a completely different reality. When the show ended, the stability in Dana's life gradually disappeared. From then on, she fell into a turbulent period filled with many wrong decisions and prolonged psychological pressure. In the years that followed, Dana faced mental health issues, substance dependence, and numerous legal troubles, including an incident that led to her detention in the early 1990s. At one point, Dana had to live in temporary accommodations in Oklahoma, no longer in the spotlight, the cameras, or the public attention. Despite this, she tried to find a way to rebuild her life, and at one point, things seemed to be turning around. In 1999, Dana appeared on The Howard Stern Show, sharing her past and trying to prove she had changed. However, the interview quickly became tense as she faced a barrage of suspicious calls and taunts live on air. Less than a day after that appearance, Dana tragically passed away at the age of 34. That ending was never something she deserved, nor was it the fate any child entering the entertainment industry should face. From a promising television star to a tragic Hollywood story, Dana Plato's life serves as a poignant reminder that the glamour of fame sometimes comes with incredibly difficult and hard-to-overcome dark sides. Lonnie Willison was once a promising fitness model, frequently appearing on magazine covers, attending fashion events, and gaining widespread recognition after marrying Baywatch actor Jeremy Jackson. At the time, her life seemed like a Hollywood dream, glamorous, attention-grabbing, and full of glamour. But that dream didn't last. After her marriage ended and her career slowed, Lonnie began to drift off track. Over time, she faced numerous hardships, from losing her stable housing to serious mental and physical health issues. Today, Lonnie is seen living a vagrant life in the Venice Beach area, a far cry from the image of the model she once admired. She has shared that the major upheavals in her life stemmed from a deeply damaging past relationship, where she felt controlled and negatively impacted both mentally and physically. However, her downward spiral wasn't limited to emotional trauma. In some of her posts, Lonnie expressed unusual thoughts, such as feeling unable to be in enclosed spaces because she believed she was affected by electrical sources, from batteries and metal to common electronic devices. She said her body reacted strongly to things others considered normal. There are many different explanations for Lonnie's condition, from prolonged psychological trauma and the effects of past substance abuse to other complex health factors. But what is clear is that Lonnie Willison, once a symbol of beauty and a healthy physique, is now a sad example of how quickly life can change when mental health issues and addictions go untreated. MC Hammer was more than just a rapper. He was a true cultural icon. In the 1990s, his name was synonymous with the hit song You Can't Touch This, his energetic performances, and his unmistakable fashion sense. He was ubiquitous, appearing on television, in commercials, and in entertainment shows, becoming one of the most prominent figures of the era. His fame came with immense wealth. However, along with his rapid success came a habit of uncontrolled spending. Hammer splurged on a lavish lifestyle, renovating a 40,000 square foot mansion, owning numerous expensive cars, a helicopter, a private plane, and even racehorses. He also maintained a large staff supporting both his work and personal life, and was always ready to help friends and family. However, as music trends changed and hit songs became less frequent, his income began to decline. Despite this, his spending habits remained unchanged. In a short time, Hammer fell into serious financial difficulties, facing significant debt and gradually losing most of his assets, including the mansion that was once a symbol of his wealth. It seemed like the end of his career, but Hammer didn't give up. Instead of continuing to decline, he embarked on a new journey, changing his lifestyle and learning to manage his finances more carefully. From there, he gradually returned to being an entrepreneur, investor, and a life lessons sharer with future generations. MC Hammer's story not only reflects the price of uncontrolled spending, but also shows that people can still rise up and rebuild their lives, even after losing so much. Jan Michael Vincent was once considered one of Hollywood's most iconic male figures of the 70s and 80s, a golden star with a piercing gaze, a powerful physique, and an unmistakable charisma. He was best known for his role in Airwolf, one of the most popular television series of the time. However, Jan's life off-screen was nothing like the roles he played. A turbulent journey where his talent was gradually overshadowed by misguided choices and long-standing problems. From the late 70s, signs of instability began to appear. Jan repeatedly got into legal trouble related to illegal substances, followed by accusations of disorderly conduct and unsafe driving. His prolonged partying, reckless lifestyle, and impulsive decisions gradually led to serious consequences. He suffered numerous accidents, including serious injuries that left him with long-lasting health problems, forcing him to use mobility aids in his daily life. As his career gradually collapsed and his income dwindled, Jan also lost his former status in the entertainment industry. From a sought-after star, he gradually withdrew from the spotlight and lived a more private life. At one point, he had to live far from public attention, in quiet and secluded areas, completely isolated from the glitz and glamour of Hollywood. When Jan Michael Vincent passed away at the age of 74, information about him no longer appeared frequently in the media. He died quietly, almost completely closing the chapter on his peak. His story is not only a personal tragedy, but also a reminder that the glamour of fame can be very fragile, and if one does not control their inner struggles, anyone can lose everything over time. Leif Garrett was one of the most prominent teen idols of the 1970s. With his bright face, long, dashing hair, and captivating demeanor, he constantly appeared in youth magazines, becoming the dream role model for millions of fans. However, behind that dazzling spotlight lay a series of misfortunes that few could have imagined. From a very young age, around 14, Leif began using illegal substances, a sign of how the pressure of early fame had heavily impacted him. Before turning 18, he was involved in a serious accident while driving unsafely, resulting in serious consequences for a passenger. This incident became a turning point that caused his life to spiral downwards, leading to numerous legal and mental problems. Instead of trying to stabilize his life, Leif continued to sink deeper into negative habits. His music and acting career, which had propelled him to rapid fame, gradually declined, while personal troubles piled up. By the early 2000s, he was in dire financial straits, having lost almost all his possessions, home, and means of transportation, left with only a small amount of cash and a few basic personal belongings. At one point, Leif's image became associated with sad stories of decline, a once celebrated star now living in hardship. Despite occasional family support, his life never returned to its former state. Leif Garrett's story serves as a stark reminder that fame, if achieved too early and without proper guidance and control, can lead to unpredictable consequences. From a dazzling teen icon, he gradually became a prime example of the fragility of fame when individuals fail to overcome life's misguided choices. Mindy McCready was once one of the most prominent voices in country music. With her emotionally rich voice and songs that touched the hearts of listeners, she quickly rose to the top of the charts and won the hearts of audiences across America. However, behind the glitz and glamour of the stage lay a life full of turmoil that music seemed unable to conceal. Hidden behind her dazzling performances was a series of challenges Mindy faced, from legal issues and mental health struggles to substance dependence and trauma that lasted for years. Her personal life was repeatedly exposed, becoming a topic of discussion in the media and on social networks, blurring the lines between private and public life. Despite numerous attempts at treatment and rebuilding her life, the wounds within her were not easily healed. In 2013, a major tragedy struck when her close friend passed away suddenly. This shock deeply affected Mindy's mental state. Shortly afterward, she was found dead in the same area associated with the heartbreaking event. She left behind 2 young children, and according to close sources, the prolonged pressures related to her personal life and child custody had severely damaged her mental health. Having passed away at the age of 37, Mindy McCready ended a journey filled with both brilliance and profound emotional wounds. Her story serves as a reminder that behind fame and success, people can still face the most intense internal struggles, especially when the spotlight fades. David Cassidy was one of the biggest idols of the 1970s, a role model for millions of teenage fans. With his distinctive voice and approachable image, he quickly became a prominent figure through the TV series The Partridge Family, winning the hearts of audiences at the time. However, behind that glamorous facade lay a life filled with pressure and subtle upheavals over time. While his on-screen image was one of positive success, David's personal life was fraught with difficulties. He faced problems related to long-term alcohol use, leading to legal troubles and unfortunate incidents. As negative stories began to appear more frequently in the media, his career gradually stalled and lost its former glory. In 2010, David Cassidy faced legal trouble when he was prosecuted for driving under the influence. This marked a turning point in his life, leading to greater difficulties. In the years that followed, he continued to face similar problems, highlighting the persistent instability in his personal life. Later, Cassidy admitted to struggling with alcohol dependence and its consequences. Financial hardships and mental stress narrowed his life, distancing him from the image of a once beloved star. His wealth and stability gradually vanished, giving way to a journey filled with challenges and regrets. David Cassidy's story is a stark contrast between the glamour of the stage and the realities of life behind the scenes. It also serves as a reminder that fame cannot protect one from inner crises, and without balance, anyone can lose themselves over time. Todd Bridges became widely known for his role as Willis Jackson in the hit comedy series Different Strokes, 1978 to 1986, where he played the older brother of Gary Coleman's character, Arnold Jackson. Thanks to the show's success, Todd quickly became one of the most beloved child actors of the time. However, behind that early fame lay a challenging journey that not everyone saw. From a very young age, Todd faced serious issues related to substance abuse, a problem that continued into adulthood. These difficulties led to numerous problems in his life, including legal issues and conflicts with the justice system. Despite this, he didn't let these setbacks be the end of his life. Todd gradually sought support and began a strenuous process of self-improvement. In the years that followed, Todd Bridges gradually regained his stability and began sharing his personal story more openly. He became an advocate for mental health issues and overcoming dependence, hoping to inspire others in similar situations to change. He also continued to participate in some film and television projects, though no longer in the central roles he once was. Today, Todd is known as a voice in the community regarding recovery and reintegration, frequently sharing his personal experiences to inspire others. His story is seen as proof that people can rise above difficult times if they persevere and are willing to change. Todd Bridges has therefore become a symbol of overcoming the past and finding a positive path in life. Ray Williams left his mark on professional basketball, serving as captain of the New York Knicks and playing a key role in the Boston Celtics' run to the 1985 finals. With his outstanding skills and solid position on the court, he was expected to have a successful and stable life after retiring from playing. However, reality took a different, more difficult and turbulent turn. After retirement, Ray Williams did not enjoy the peace and quiet of many of his contemporaries. Instead of settling down, he faced numerous challenges, particularly financially and professionally. By 2013, his image was frequently mentioned in a context of regret, as he, once a famous athlete, fell into difficult circumstances in his final years. It's noteworthy that Williams' financial problems didn't stem from a lavish lifestyle or gambling, but primarily from instability after leaving the court, coupled with inadequate support systems for former athletes. He had spoken out about the need for players to receive more support after their careers ended, as not everyone has the resources to adapt to a new life. Over time, these accumulating difficulties led Williams to face serious financial problems, even filing for bankruptcy protection. Despite his efforts to stabilize his life, he was unable to return to the balance he had during his professional career. Ultimately, he passed away in 2013 after battling colon cancer, ending a journey filled with ups and downs. Ray Williams' story serves as a reminder of the reality behind the glamour of sports, where not every athlete is adequately prepared for life after leaving the court, and a glorious career does not always guarantee a secure future. Bobby Driscoll was once considered one of Hollywood's brightest child stars and Disney's golden boy. He left a lasting impression by voicing Peter Pan and even won a prestigious Academy Award for his role in The Window, 1950. However, that dazzling glory didn't last long. As he entered adulthood, Hollywood gradually turned its back on him, and Bobby fell into a prolonged period of crisis. As acting opportunities dwindled, Driscoll began to face serious life problems, including drug use and legal troubles. From a once sought-after star, he gradually lost his career and couldn't regain his place in the entertainment industry. His life became precarious, unstable, and increasingly distant from the spotlight. In some rare interviews, Bobby admitted that he had fallen into a prolonged state of crisis and no longer had a fixed place to live. He lived in difficult circumstances, without a stable job, and almost forgotten by the very industry that had brought him to the top. In 1968, Bobby Driscoll died at a very young age in an abandoned building in New York. His identity was not immediately known, causing delays in identification and information about his death. He was buried in a mass grave for the unknown, ending a life full of contrasts between fame and quietude. It wasn't until several years later that Bobby's story regained attention, when the public realized that a once beloved star had passed away into oblivion. His life became a sad testament to how quickly fame can fade without support and guidance as the spotlight wanes. Iran Barkley was not just a boxer, but a true warrior in the ring, a three-time world champion. He defeated many big names in boxing and, during his peak in the 80s and 90s, amassed an estimated fortune of around $5 million. However, behind the glamour and resounding victories lay a life full of upheaval and equally harsh challenges. By 2010, the man who had once stood at the pinnacle of glory had fallen into extremely difficult circumstances, even at times living in precarious conditions, temporarily resting in subways or cheap motels. His once brilliant career gradually became a testament to the fragility of success, as mistakes in financial management and ill-considered choices caused much of his accumulated wealth to dissipate. Without a stable income, Barkley faced prolonged unemployment and hardship. During that difficult period, his niece took him in and cared for him, providing him with temporary support. However, life continued to be unstable, and Barkley once again found himself in a precarious situation, having to move and live in deprived conditions. This was a stark contrast to the image of a champion once admired by the public. Nevertheless, true to the spirit of a boxer, Iran Barkley did not give up. Thanks to support from community organizations such as Bronx Works and Ring 10 Boxing, he gradually regained basic stability and rebuilt his life. Currently, he mentors and trains young boxers, sharing his experiences and lessons from his own journey. Iran Barkley's story is not only about the decline after the spotlight fades, but also a testament to the ability to rise above adversity. It shows that no matter how hard life may hit them, a true champion can still find a way to keep moving forward. Margot Kidder was once a respected name in Hollywood. She made her mark with numerous roles alongside big names like Richard Pryor, appeared alongside Canadian Prime Minister Pierre Trudeau, and was especially known worldwide for her role as Lois Lane, Superman's love interest in the iconic Superman film series. However, in 1996, Margot's life took a completely different turn. Few could believe that the actress, once admired by millions, was found in a dire state in Los Angeles, her health deteriorating, living precariously on the streets, sometimes only having cardboard sheets to cover herself. Behind that shocking image lay a little-known truth. She had been silently battling bipolar disorder for a long time without proper support. During a difficult period, she was once found living near the bush in Glendale, California, a stark contrast to her former glamorous life. At that time, Margot relied on the help of strangers, sometimes just a temporary shelter, a simple meal, or a small, non-judgmental act of kindness to get her through each day. Later, with the support of her family and medical services, Margot Kidder was admitted to a specialized facility. There, she began a challenging but hopeful recovery process, gradually stabilizing her life and spirit. What makes Margot's story special is not only the periods of crisis she faced, but also how she rose above those difficulties. Instead of hiding her past, she chose to share her experiences, becoming an advocate for mental health and contributing to raising public awareness. She once said, "Anyone can be on the verge of a mental breakdown in a single breath, and in just a moment, life can change completely." This isn't pessimism, but a reminder of human fragility and the importance of understanding and empathy. From the Hollywood spotlight to the hardships of real life, and then gradually returning to her own balance, Margot Kidder's journey is a testament to inner strength and resilience. It shows that no matter where one falls, there is always a chance to get back up and find meaning in life. Erin Moran was once considered the princess of American television, leaving a lasting impression on audiences with her role as Joni Cunningham in the classic sitcom Happy Days. At her peak, she possessed almost everything a young star could dream of: fame, public adoration, and a solid position in the entertainment industry. However, the glamour of Hollywood is notoriously fragile and doesn't last forever. As Erin Moran's name gradually faded from the screen, her life began to enter a difficult phase. Her once stable sources of income dwindled over time, like a game where everything changes too quickly. By 2010, she was forced to leave her California home, abandoning her glamorous life, and move to a trailer park in Indiana with her elderly mother-in-law. However, life there didn't offer the stability she had hoped for either. The pressures of daily life, personal conflicts, and prolonged difficulties made the situation increasingly dire. Erin was forced to leave her home, beginning a period of temporary living, moving through various cheap motels, and gradually drifting away completely from the glamorous image of a television star. At times, she was seen in ordinary neighborhoods, evoking sad memories for her fans, as her current image was a far cry from her glorious past. Furthermore, there was much misinformation circulating about her fate, but the reality was a sadder story. Erin Moran passed away in 2017 at the age of 56 after battling throat cancer. She died quietly, amidst a life once loved but also marked by many ups and downs. From a familiar face on television to a fate obscured by time, Erin Moran's journey clearly reflects the harsh realities behind the glamour. It also serves as a reminder that fame can fade very quickly, and not every story in the entertainment world ends the way people expect it. Natasha Lyonne was a prolific screen star in the 1990s, appearing in many popular films such as Slums of Beverly Hills, But I'm a Cheerleader, and especially American Pie. With her intelligent, humorous acting and unique personality, she quickly became a beloved figure, particularly in independent films. However, behind that promising career lay a long period of turmoil and self-destruction that lasted until the early 2000s. Lyonne's life gradually spiraled out of control over time. In 2001, she became embroiled in legal trouble related to driving under the influence. By the mid-2000s, the situation worsened as she faced numerous health problems, financial difficulties, and an unstable life. At one point, she had to leave her home and went through a difficult period with addiction issues and hospitalization for serious health complications. During this period, her image frequently appeared in the media with negative news rather than film projects. However, after that challenging phase, Natasha Lyonne began a dramatic transformation. She gradually recovered her health, stabilized her life, and returned to acting. Her career took a new direction when she joined the series Orange is the New Black, where she received much attention and positive reviews. She then made a significant impact as co-creator, screenwriter, and lead actress in Russian Doll, a work that reflects her personal experiences of inner struggle. More recently, she took on the lead role in the detective series Poker Face, confirming her strong comeback to the entertainment industry. Natasha Lyonne's story serves as clear evidence of the ability to change and rebuild one's life after periods of crisis. It shows that even when people have fallen into the darkest times, they can still find their way back and write a new, more positive chapter. Sometimes, it is the experiences off-screen that provide the greatest strength for a comeback. Danny Bonaduce was once a highly regarded child star, later becoming a familiar face to television viewers. He is best known for his role as the bright-haired redhead in the series The Partridge Family. However, behind that early success lay a long and turbulent journey, where fame wasn't enough to shield him from life's hardships. As an adult, Bonaduce faced serious problems related to long-term substance and alcohol abuse. These issues destabilized his life, leading to periods of housing and work difficulties. At one point, he lived in his car in Hollywood, even near the TCL Chinese Theater, while fans remained unaware of his true circumstances. He himself once shared, ironically, about this experience as a paradox between fame and the realities of life. Despite these periods of decline, Danny Bonaduce didn't give up. He had previously attempted to rebuild his life, shifting to a career as a broadcaster in Seattle, while simultaneously rebuilding personal relationships and finding new stability. For a time, He seemed to have emerged from a difficult period and achieved greater balance. However, his life continued to face challenges when he was later diagnosed with a neurological problem that would affect his long-term health. This forced him to pause and then withdraw from some professional activities, particularly after undergoing brain surgery. Danny Bonadus's journey, from a famous child star to difficult times and then trying to get back on his feet, clearly reflects the complexities of life behind the spotlight. It shows that a person's comeback doesn't always happen perfectly, but it remains a testament to the relentless effort to keep moving forward. Willie Alms was once one of the most beloved leading men on television. NOI Bat through his roles in 8 is Enough and Charles in Charge. At his peak, he earned over $1 million a year, enjoying a luxurious life and fame in Hollywood. However, behind that glamour lay a sudden and cruel turning point in his life. In a short period, his life changed completely. From a famous star, Willie Alms lost his career, financial stability, and important personal relationships. At one point, he fell into difficult circumstances, no longer having a permanent home, having to take refuge in various places such as parking lots, parks, or relying on friends for a place to sleep at night. He once shared that it was a humiliating and difficult period when everything seemed to collapse so quickly. In a later interview, Alms recalled that period with mixed emotions. He never imagined his life would spiral into such a predicament in such a short time, and having to live in such precarious conditions was something he had never imagined before. Even when trying to regain stability through ordinary jobs like tour guide, he still faced many difficulties in rebuilding his life. The fall from the height of fame to such precarious circumstances made Willie Alms' story one of the most remarkable cases in the entertainment industry. However, he didn't stop there. Through personal effort, Alms gradually rose up, learning about finance, passing professional exams, and becoming a financial advisor, helping himself find a new direction after the crisis. Later, he also returned to the arts, participating in acting and film production while balancing his life between work in Vancouver and Los Angeles. Willie Alms' journey shows that even when people lose everything, there is always a chance to start over if they have enough perseverance and determination. Hollywood is not only about the spotlight, but also the challenging stories of collapse, from famous stars to homeless people and facing financial failure. These stories remind us of the power of resilience and the ability to stand up after every difficulty. Thank you for watching the video. If you find it interesting, don't forget to support the channel and share. Remember to respect YouTube's policies to build a positive community together.